Good day, St. Martin. I'm Alston Lawrence.
And I'm Jasenia Lassero. Welcome to NEWSDESK, your source for the latest news and updates around the island. We've got a lot to cover tonight, from weather updates to new initiatives and some exciting local news.
That's right, Jasenia. Let's dive right into our top stories. In our first segment, St. Martin continues to make strides in its recovery efforts, especially when it comes to emergency services. The National Recovery Program Bureau, or NRPB, has just announced the delivery of a new fleet of emergency vehicles for the St. Martin Fire and Ambulance Department. This new fleet, which includes 7 specialized fire and command vehicles, along with 3 vehicles for the ambulance service, is a significant boost to our island's disaster preparedness. The vehicles are equipped with the latest technology, including GPS, first aid kits, and direct communication systems with headquarters. This delivery marks the final phase of the Emergency Recovery Project, which has been in place since 2018. The project, funded by the St. Martin Trust Fund and managed by the World Bank, has played a crucial role in strengthening our emergency services. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Luc Mersolina, emphasized that these vehicles are not just upgrades, they're essential tools in building a stronger, more resilient St. Martin. Honorable Minister Veronica Jansen-Webster echoed this sentiment, saying that these advancements will save lives by improving response times and coordination. With the expansion of the Emergency Operations Center, the NRPB and its partners are committed to continuing their support for the island's ongoing recovery.
In aviation news, there's been a resolution in the standoff between St. Martin and Curaçao over the route authorization for EZAir. Minister of TIAD Gracia Heliger Maarten has granted EZAir the authorization to operate flights between Curaçao and St. Martin, starting from August 8 until the end of the year. This includes routes to and from Santo Domingo and Port-au-Prince. The decision follows a discussion between Minister Heliger Maarten and her Curaçao counterparts, Minister Cooper. Both agreed that allowing EZAir to operate these routes is in the best interest of both islands. In addition to regular flights, EZAir has also been granted authorization for air ambulance services between Curaçao, Saba, St. Eustatius, and St. Martin. This moves ensure that travelers, including those in need of medical services, have continued access to these vital routes.
In other news, St. Martin's law enforcement has been busy with targeted operations across the island. This past week, the St. Martin Police Force conducted multiple operations to combat illegal firearm possession. On Wednesday, August 8th, officers stopped a vehicle in the Dutch Quarter Belvedere area where they found a firearm and other weapons. The driver, a female, was immediately arrested and is currently in custody pending further investigation. The police remind everyone that carrying a firearm without authorization is illegal, and a firearm amnesty program is in the works. But that's not all. Just 2 days later, on Friday evening, police conducted another operation in Maarten Estate. This time, 3 firearms were found in the vehicle, leading to the arrest of 3 male occupants, all residents of Dutch Quarter. These arrests are part of a broader effort to address the rise in gun violence on the island. The police are also investigating the destruction of a police vehicle by arson earlier this month, with more arrests expected soon. It's clear that the police are stepping up their efforts to keep our communities safe. And speaking of safety, we'll have more on how the police are preparing for the upcoming election in our next story.
We exposed 5 strangers to different KFC menus to see if the flavor can enhance any moment. And at the first bite, the party began. We repeated the experiment during the day, during business hours, on weekends, with sunshine, with rain. It's confirmed any moment can be a KFC moment.
For election 2024, each eligible voter who was registered at the Civil Registry previously and up to the date of June 3, 2024 should receive their voting card at least 8 days prior to the upcoming parliamentary election to be held on August 19, 2024. The Postal Services of St. Martin will make sure you receive your voting card on time. Please check your mailbox, and if by August 9, 2024 you did not receive your voting card, The Civil Registry will accommodate extra days for you to collect your voting card at the office on the following days and time: August 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2024. Eligible voters can pick up their voting cards from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eligible voters are encouraged to make use of this opportunity to collect their voting cards at the Civil Registry Department at the Government Building. Proper identification is required. Remember, your right to vote is also your responsibility. This message has been brought to you by the Civil Registry Department.
Welcome back. With the upcoming parliamentary election just around the corner, the St. Maarten Police Force has issued a comprehensive safety advisory for the month of August. This election is scheduled for August 19th, and the KPSM, along with other law enforcement agencies, is implementing increased security measures to ensure the safety of everyone involved. Throughout the month, there will be intensified controls and patrols across the island, particularly on Election Day. Police presence will be heightened at key locations, including polling stations, to ensure that the voting process is safe and orderly. Citizens are urged to cooperate fully with the law enforcement and to report any suspicious activity immediately. The police stress the importance of following all instructions from officers and elections officials to maintain public order. After the election, KPSM will continue to monitor the situation closely, ensuring that peace and security are maintained. It is crucial that we all play our part in making sure the election goes smoothly. Let's stay safe and vigilant during this important time.
The Ministry of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, VROMI, responded to several issues following heavy rainfall over the weekend, which caused significant damage in certain areas. As a tropical storm approaches within the next 48 hours, residents are urged to stay vigilant. South Ward, Cassava Road, recently paved, has partially collapsed due to a lack of proper road support, drainage, and accumulation of rainwater. Motorists are advised to proceed with caution in this area. VROMI Cabinet Policy Advisor Luciano Nichols highlighted the importance of prioritizing quality in infrastructure projects, noting that quick fixes can lead to problems, as seen in this case. A landslide in Ebenezer led to the collapse of a retaining wall from a Valley Estate property into a resident's yard. The debris now obstructs the main trench, which has not been regularly cleaned in over 2 years, potentially affecting water drainage during the upcoming storm. Although previous complaints from residents about erosion were not addressed, the ministry has started trench cleaning in the area and is working to mitigate further damage. Residents along the trench should remain cautious. The ministry continues district cleaning and garbage collection in problematic areas. Over the weekend, water levels in ponds were lowered as a preventative measure against flooding. The recently repaired flood pumps will be used overnight to manage water levels, possibly involving the opening of the Great Bay Channel. Residents are advised to avoid swimming in Great Bay due to potential contamination. Minister of VROMI Patrice Gums Jr., the Honorable, acknowledged the challenges posed by inadequate infrastructure and emphasized the ministry's commitment to sustainable development. The focus includes finalizing a trenching contract, establishing a road fund, and improving road quality and drainage systems. As the tropical storm approaches, residents should prepare for heavy rainfall, flooding, and increased risk of erosion and landslides.
NVGEBE, the island's electricity provider, is working diligently to resolve the ongoing electricity shortages that have been affecting residents across St. Maarten. The company has faced several setbacks, including mechanical failures in 4 of its older generators. However, the team at GEBE is making progress with the repairs and installation of the new containerized generators. Temporary manager Troy Washington expressed his apologies to the community for the disruptions and praised the dedication of the GEBE employees who are working tirelessly to fix these issues. The new generators are expected to be operational by later this week, which should significantly reduce the need for load shedding. However, the company is still managing shortages, so some outages may continue until everything is fully up and running. GEBE is also taking the weather into account as they make repairs, prioritizing the safety of the grid and their staff. Over the weekend, the Prime Minister addressed the general public with an update on the status on the current operating generators. Here's an excerpt of that address.
This moment, 4 of the 10 engines are down. GEBE needs to supply the country with 57 megawatts in peak moments. However, at this moment, on average, GEBE can only supply around the 65% of its total capacity. Since May, engine 19, which produces 10 megawatt, has been out. For the past 5 weeks, engine 9, which produces 4 megawatt, has been out. Since last week, engine 8, which produces 4 megawatt, has been out. And since the 9th of August, engine 16, which produces 7 megawatt, has also been out. The engines of GEBE are running overtime, and this increased runtime caused the engines to stop. These aging engines lack maintenance, and some of them are way past their time of replacement. I know that many are asking how we got to this point. The reality is that the irresponsible actions of past governments has led us to where we are today. Actions such as taking funds out of GEBE made it impossible to invest in new engines, along with continuously changing management and supervisory board members of the GEBE. Therefore, there was no continuity and no vision for the future of GEBE. It is also important to mention that in the last years, the shareholder failed to fill important management positions, being the CEO, the CFO, and the COO. We have only had a temporary crisis manager. If we go back to the country package, an agreement signed in December 2020 by the previous government and the Netherlands, it is worth noting that one of the first points mentioned was the country packages that would ensure continuity of vital processes.
Hi, Mom.
How are you?
Hi, darling. I'm fine. Just calling to say hi.
Oh, okay. We got over here.
Girl, I hear watching this movie and it...
But Mom, you finished all your minutes yet?
No, girl. Talem has new postpaid plans and automatically upgraded my postpaid package.
Is that so?
Guess what? I am getting more minutes and almost double the amount of data for the same price.
I guess I'm making a switch now.
Let me call you back, Mom.
Hey Tash, you have to tell him new postpaid plans?
St. Maarten, as heavy rain falls across our region, we urge all residents and visitors to exercise caution and stay alert. Here are the areas prone to street flooding, flash floods, and/or rock slides. Avoid these locations until water levels subside. Atillage Road Roundabout, Cul-de-Sac. Arch Road, Sucker Garden. Beacon Hill Road, Simpson Bay. Atillage Road, Border Monument, Belvedere, Lower Princess Quarter. Billy Folly Road, Cole Bay. Emma Plain, Phillipsburg. L.B. Scott Road, Cul-de-Sac. Rhine Road, Lowlands. Welgeliken Road, Low K Roundabout, Cahill, Little Bay. Well Road, Wellington Road, and Orange Grove Road, Cole Bay. Yancho Rousquin Boulevard, Point Blanche, and Sakersgut Road, Cul-de-Sac. Remember, safety comes first. Let's work together to keep our community safe. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Department of Communication.
Turning to weather, St. Maarten is currently under tropical storm watch as potential tropical cyclone 5 approaches the Leeward Islands. As of late Sunday night, the system was located about 910 miles east-southeast of St. Maarten and is expected to become Tropical Storm Ernesto by tonight. It's moving at a brisk 23 miles per hour and could pass as close as 30 miles south of St. Maarten by Tuesday night. The Met Department of St. Maarten has issued warnings for gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and rough seas. Residents should expect up to 6 inches of rain through Wednesday, with possible flooding in low-lying areas. In preparation, caretaker Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Luke Mercelina has advised political parties and businesses to remove campaign materials from public roads. Schools have also been closed until further notice, with the reopening date dependent on weather conditions. Additionally, the Great Bay Channel was opened last night to lower water levels in the Fresh Pond and Great Salt Pond as a preventative measure against flooding. The government is closely monitoring the situation and will keep the public updated as the storm progresses. Please stay safe and take all necessary precautions. Let's go to, the Caribbean weatherman, Mr. Brian Shields, for more on the Tropical Update.
Patches of moisture tracking over the island ahead of potential tropical cyclone number 5 will cause brief showers across the local area. However, a deteriorating weather pattern is expected towards the end of the forecast period, with increasing showers, winds, and seas. Therefore, residents and visitors are advised to be on alert for further alerts. Moderate to rough seas up to 9 feet are expected through the next 6 or so hours before deteriorating further. Small craft operators and swimmers are advised to exercise caution while protecting life and property.
Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and thank you for being part of this weather community. Now, let's get right to it. It's this area here we're watching. There are some shifts in the track that I am monitoring, and I'll show you why and what that means for us. Not just kind of some of the shifts and that sort of thing, but what it means for us specifically island by island. I want to get into that, get into the timing of that. This here is racing off to the west. It is moving very quickly. With that, that changes the outlook for some of us. So I want to get into the updated rain and winds and show you the icon model, which has done a really good job with the systems this year, and importantly some new areas that are now kind of under the action mode where we need to take some action as this area starts to work in. So it will become Ernesto. The National Hurricane Center calls it a potential Cyclone 5, kind of weird terminology to say the least, but it's soon to be Ernesto. So here's that spot here, and you can see it starting to work in. Now, it's not organized yet, right? A little bit slower to organize, which is good. I don't want it to organize at all, but it looks like it will. So I'll take a slower organization outlook, but it is already bringing in some scattered showers and storms for some of us near Guadeloupe, near Dominica, Martinique, and Barbados. We'll see that too over toward St. Lucia. So this blob moving in, but as it moves closer, it will be organizing as we go throughout the day. Now, here's the track from the National Hurricane Center, bringing this up over the U.S. and British Virgin Islands as a tropical storm, but I believe the track should shift a little bit more to the west. And we'll see if they do that. Here's why. First off, it's moving so quickly to the west, right at 26 miles per hour, moving very quickly to the west, and it's not organized yet. Systems that aren't as organized, at least to start, typically move a little bit more to the west. So don't just look at the models or somebody else's output, and really look at the environment and what's happening. So as it stands now, this would be the most likely path of this, and we'll see if others kind of shift toward this.
Welcome back. Unfortunately, due to the inclement weathers, this past weekend's Sports Expo had to be postponed. The Expo, which was set to showcase a variety of local and international sports, was called off early Saturday morning. Safety was a top priority for organizers who are working on rescheduling the event for a later date. While the Expo was postponed, the St. Maarten Soualiga Capoeira group managed to hold their planned graduation ceremony indoors. The event saw 11 young members promoted to their next level belt, celebrating their hard work and dedication. The ceremony was a vibrant affair filled with energy and rhythm that defines capoeira. It was well attended by local supporters and even some international guests who gathered to honor the achievements of those young martial artists. The successful Capoeira graduation brought pride and joy to the local community.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jacques Heemskerk, also known as Professor Foya Seca, representing Soualiga Capoeira Raça Movimento Sint Maarten. Today, on the Saturday, we just had our graduation, a batizado, where we graduated 11 of our students to the next level. We had students from the age of 6, 7, up until 31 being graduated. A batizado is a baptism in our Capoeira world, where we introduce the kids, we play with the kids, with our guests, for the first time, and kind of introduce them to the world of Capoeira. For the members that have already received a belt, they're going through the system of a troca de cordões, which is a changing of belt. It literally just means ranking up. For an event like this, we can do it on our own, but it's always better when we invite guests from all over the world. So during this event, we have guests from Canada, we have guests from Guadeloupe, guests from Martinique, guests from Connecticut, from Texas, from Florida, and of course in Sint Maarten. Every year we get people from around the world. They don't need to come during the event itself. We're always welcome to host any capoeirista from around the world. You can check us out on Facebook, Soualiga Capoeira. You can also check me out on Facebook, Jacques Heemskerk, for more information on the group, on classes, on performances and demonstrations. Thank you so much for supporting us, supporting the arts, supporting our island, and supporting the youths in their development. Peace and one love.
Thanks for joining us today on NEWSDESK. I'm Alston Lawrence.
And I'm Jasenia Lazaro. Stay safe, St. Maarten, and have a great week.
Stay friendly, St. Maarten.